Alright, everybody, welcome back. I went ahead and created the new um, project that we're going to use for today. We're still working on the Space Fighters project asset package, and right now we have the players, the bullets, the basic enemies, and one boss. I think today I'm going to work on a second boss. I probably don't need to build the base game, but I have a boss idea in my head, so that's what we're going to work on today. So I want it to be 32 by 32, the same size as the eye, and we're going to go ahead and make a jellyfish type entity. I was thinking either a skull or a jellyfish. I think today we're going to do the jellyfish. Next time we're probably going to do the skull. Just little fun things. But this enemy is going to be called a ShieldJellyBoss, and the other one, the floating skull, I think it's gonna have a little bit more animation and things to it, but I haven't really come up with a set idea for the name for that yet. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and get some reference photos for a jellyfish. To start, we're going to do that. And we're going to I want the tentacles to have a little bit of animation, or I was thinking maybe just a glow. Kind of from the inside, it's darker on the inside than it is on the outside, and that darkness either expands and contracts to make it look like it's like pumping, like a heartbeat. Thinking that's the direction I'm going to go with this. So let's create the base silhouette for this. So we're going to start off with this circle. And we're not going to want to have the tentacles be uniform. So I'll turn off the symmetry tool when we come to that. Right now we want to make something that kind of resembles a jellyfish in a way. That's the darkest color, and now we're going to use this little bit brighter color to define a shape that we want. Looking more like a spaceship than a jellyfish. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing since we're building a space game. But I kind of want it to look organic, like the giant eye. That's kind of the impetus for this whole thing, was that giant eye. There we go. That'll work. So now we got to kind of like flare this out a little bit. Make it look like it's got ridges and ripples and things. You know, it's gonna be organic. I kind of want to make a hump like this type deal, but I'm trying to do that without breaking the image. I mean, if you break an image, you can always go back and fix it later. But if you just don't break it in the first place, then I feel like that would be better. Still gotta do the outline, but I'm gonna do the outline last. I want a color I can use for a shadow. Something like this. So you're going to move all of this up. Kind of looks like a treetop or a mushroom. That type of thing. Place these here. I don't know why that doesn't look right to me. Oh well, we'll just go with it. Something about it doesn't look right, but I can't really tell what that issue is. So we're just gonna leave it like this. And then we're gonna come in and we're gonna do the tentacles here. Kind of just make it a little random, you know? This sort of thing going on. And then we want to use the purple that we're using for the shading here. And then we want to use the base color blue that we want to use for the whole image. And there we go. I feel like that's a good start. Let's give a little bit of shading towards the bottom, like they're underneath the main body. And we'll do that. Now I want this part to kind of glow, to give like a glow effect. So we are going to use this brighter color, this really bright color for the highlights. Actually, don't want to do that just yet. Want to use this brighter color. Go back to B. Give us our darker color back here again, our darkest color. I want that to be towards the center, so I need to be able to move it around, so I'm going to create a new layer and put that here. Just named it something random that when I look at it, I'll know that this is what I'm looking at, you know. But if anybody is familiar with dithering, that's basically what I'm going to use. Oh, not dithering. Oh yeah, no, it is dithering. That I'm going to use to type. Or I'm not going to use dither, I'm going to use a gradient. My apologies. Wrong terminology. But I want this color to slowly fade out to the edge, and then I want the color in the center to not have like that solid ring. In order to do that, you have to create a gradient. So the way you do that is you go to hue, saturation, value, and whichever direction that you're going, move it a little bit to the darker or lighter depending on what you want. So I need this to be a little bit darker. I'm going to turn on the symmetry tool to make this a little bit faster. Then go darker again. And you want to jump a few places on making it darker anytime that you do, because you have very limited space. So you need the transition to happen, and you need it to be significant. A sprite can also make gradients for itself. However, I'm not going to do that with this. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. So see, now you kind of got that gradient going in. Now I need the gradient going out and getting brighter as it goes toward the edges. So we got to take this color again that we're using. Go to hue, saturation, value, and move it toward brighter this time by a bit. Then do it again. And I want to get it to this color, outside color. So whatever color comes out of the next one is going to be our outline, our outermost color. So there. Now we have our jelly. And then we also want to use some of this for shadow since it is emitting light itself. We want this to kind of have a shadow toward the outer side. And what this will do is it'll give our image a little bit of depth. Quite honestly, I think this is a little bit more detailed than I should have used for this. But, like I said, I had this idea in my head. So, we'll just kind of see where this goes. And I mean, this coloration kind of works out because jellyfish are kind of translucent, you know? So I want these colors to kind of go away and come back, go away and come back. So we're gonna go to new frame, and we're going to go ahead and do, let's see here, let's just do erase. Let's just start erasing one at a time these shadows. So boom, boom, new frame. Oh, not one that I wanted to do. New frame is Alt N, not Control N. I'll have to keep that one in mind. Oh, bullocks. Alright. Don't want to erase multiple rows. Just want to erase the one row at a time. So, 1, 2, 3. Alright. So now we want to Alt N for new. I think I'm going to save this enemy as its own monster because I won't use the new folder. I'll save it as Shield Jelly. ShieldJelly sprite sheet. So now what we can do is we can copy this. So turn off the symmetry tool so we don't mess anything up. Control C. Go to number 4. Control V. And let's see how that looks. Let's see how that turned out. Okay, so I need that to go down a little bit further. So under number 4, we're just going to erase all of this. 5. Alright, that'll work. So now what you want to do is, you don't want to draw more than one frame. You want to be able to have each frame and then multiply those frames in the game engine that you're using. This way you can just kind of not have multiple animations play through. You can just adjust the speed at which they play through or when the animations activate. I actually think I'm going to do away with these tentacles now that I'm looking at them, because they're just going to be another animation I'm going to have to do. And when you're making an indie game, you want it to look good, but you also want to make it as easy as possible on yourself. And with it being 32 by 32, having to make a whole nother animation sheet is going to be time consuming. So I think for this, we're just going to delete all of the tentacles that we have from these frames. And when you decide to get rid of something, if you don't have it on its own layer, you'll have to go in and manually delete them like this. So layers are your friends, and you really should make a new layer for everything that you do. And the other thing is, too, all of the stuff that we have shoots something at the player. So I think I'm going to make a lightning bolt for this guy. Give him his own bullet, essentially. Match the electric nature of jellyfish. Alright. So now we go down to 5. Alt-N. Number. Animation 6 is going to be animation 4. So Control C. Control V. Alt-N. Go down to number 3. Highlight that, Control C. Go back to number 7. Reselect, Control V. Alt-N. 8 is going to be number 2. Control C. Control V. And now, the way this should look when I play it is it's going to end on 1 and start on 1. So it's going to contract and then kind of expand back out to the edges where it is on 1. So let's see if it worked. There you go. Now you have a pulsing jellyfish. And you can also see through, if you're doing animations, where you're kind of messed up. As you can see, you get this blinking corner here. So I'm going to figure out what frame that's on. It's on frame 3. So we can go to frame 3, we can delete that, and now see if it's still there. Yep, we got another one. It's there on a few frames, so it's there on frame 1 as well. We just go in and delete that corner. That's where we had our tentacles connected at. Now it's not there. Now we just have our pulsing jellyfish. And I could do this effect again on the outer rim, kind of like pulsing inward at the same time, explaining that shadow, but I think this will be okay. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that little demonstration on minor animations. There's a lot of things you can do with this. You can make a glowing lantern. You can make anything that basically has a fire or a glow. You can use this effect to make it look like it's glowing. You can use it for power sources. You can use it for loads of different things. Scientific, like batteries or different things like that. But I hope you guys found some value in this today, and this will be the next enemy going into our game. It's a 32 by 32 boss, so I think this one will probably be one of the beginner boss levels that randomly generates with the boss level. You know, I might put it in the same category as the giant eye, so when you get through to the first boss level, you get this guy or the giant eye. Whichever one you don't get the first time, you'll get the second time, or around like level 2. Like, so 1 through 10 is going to be the first boss. The first boss could spawn this or the giant eye. And then you'll have 11 through 20. And round 20 will be either this guy or the eye, depending on which one you got first. And it's good to have kind of variation in that, in games like that, especially if you want high replay value. I'm just building out this game in a way that hopefully people will enjoy it as much as I will. Anyway, if you're finding value in what I do here, like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a good one and stay safe out there.